Hello. Welcome to the bye week, which means we got a lot to talk about. And we had a pre-show, and there's a lot talked about then. And we will let you in. We'll peel back the curtain in a little bit. Let's start with this. Full house. Luke Reimer at the right, Trevor Land bottom right. I'm Zach Bruner, and most importantly, Jana Wilson's back in the bottom left. The star of the show. We'll get to that a little bit more a little later. So Packers have a bye coming off a bad loss. We don't really need to rehash it. I mean, we know what happened. It was rainy, and the Packers sucked. It was what it was. Whatever.
It was apocalyptic in Green Bay in terms of weather. It rained and it was foggy, and I thought that it was gonna be like Pennywise the clown coming out of sewer. Like it was ominous.
See, that's when you need like one of those scary players on your team.
Mhm.
And the Lions have them. Packers didn't have any of those. Okay. Sort of a sign to things to come, I feel like, for the rest of the week. But yeah, so Packers are have their bye week. Packers are in a good position. We just went through the trade deadline. The Packers shipped away Preston Smith for a 7th round pick. He requested a trade. Yes, Luke?
Can I say something about the game real quick? That was on my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. The Packers Lions game, this is like as bad as the Lions have been for how many, like my entire life, right? Like this seems to have turned into the number one rivalry in the NFC North, right? A couple of years ago it was the Bears that kind of shifted to the Vikings. Now it's the Lions. The Lions have won 4 straight at Lambeau, which sucks. And the Packers are like 1-5 against NFC North opponents at Lambeau in their last 6. So Packers need to figure out divisional games. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, tough to win the division if you can't win divisional games. And then now that the division's good, even more. Yep. We better beat the Bears twice. That's all I got to say. Because Bears can be as bad as they want. If we even split the Bears, they win the Super Bowl in terms of how their fans feel. So we can't let that happen. Got to sharpen up. Do we have the Bears the first game after the bye?
Yes, we do. In Soldier Field, where they're undefeated, which means nothing.
Means nothing, but that... Some would say we don't need 2 weeks to prepare for the Bears. I'm just saying I'm happy we have 2 weeks to prepare for the Bears. Win that game. Win that game. Everything's right in the world. So we are going to be handing out midseason awards for the Packers and announcing a new show that will captivate audiences across the globe. Possibly the biggest thing that we have ever done. More on that later. Let's talk about awards. So we have to hand out. Do we want to each give it out individually, or are we going to agree on each of these awards before I jump into them as a consensus?
I say individually. Let's make it. Let's get wild.
I would assume that we're going to come to a consensus on most of these awards. So individually is fine.
Probably. I mean, we'll see. We can start with MVP. Maybe I went off the beaten path for this.
Oh.
Okay. MVP. Luke, who's your MVP that you think is obvious?
No, I don't think it's obvious.
Okay.
I'm interested what you guys are going to say because I didn't really have a strong answer for this. I'm between
this is a tough one.
I'm between like a Kenny Clark or like a Zach Tom or even like a Xavier McKinney.
See, that's the thing. What if my answer is the same for everybody? Like all the words.
That's fine.
Like I just want to throw up. I just want to throw up the X all the time.
That's fair. That's fair.
So if I had to pick one, I'll go Kenny Clark.
Okay. Janet thinks Xavier McKinney. She's throwing up the X. Is that what you? Trevor. Is that what you did when the situation happened? When they went back to their?
No, she did. Is that what they did? The Shaq.
I just said intercepted. No, Trevor, why are you making that fuchi face at me?
I was smiling. What are we talking about? I can't even smile now, man. This is bullshit. Anyways, MVP of MVP. I'm gonna just gloss over that. MVP. I'm gonna go somewhere completely different. MVP up to this point and for the rest of the season, Brandon McManus. Boy, does it feel nice to have a fucking kicker, and he's won us 2 games.
I was very close to saying him. I went with Elton Jenkins. He's played through injuries. He's played amazingly, and he's played 3 spots on the offensive line already. And I think he's probably going to play every single position on the offensive line before the season's done. I think Xavier McKinney probably would have the votes of most Packer fans. He's been insane, setting Packer records, right? So,
Yep.
That would probably be my secondary pick, right? No pun intended. He's been pretty good. But if we want to do a consensus, then I understand it's probably not Elton Jenkins. I just needed to shine some love.
Well, good thing we picked 4 different players.
I know. That's why I'm like, we got to figure out a consensus.
To be honest, it's probably Xavier McKinney, right?
Probably. He's been very good.
Yeah.
More on that later, why I think he's been very good and why he's not doing what I was afraid of. Because Packers signed him to be a deep safety. Remember? And I said, that sucks because we're playing him out of position. And luckily, one rookie really stepped up and played deep safety. So Xavier McKinney can split time and actually play his actual position. So Packers lucked into a very good signing, kind of, in a way. But yeah, McKinney's been a dog. Offensive player of the year. Trevor, would you like to start with your vote for this one?
I'm going to throw kind of a curveball in there. We all knew what Josh Jacobs is going to be. Jordan Love, offensive line. Tucker Kraft, he brings something new to the offense. I don't know the last time the Packers have had a reliable tight end, except for maybe Tunyon in COVID year, I think it was, maybe a year after. But he's doing a good job making some big plays. And
Funchess.
He's
yeah, you're right.
He is not Devin Funchess, but he always seems to step up and make a big play at a big time. And for that, respect.
Janet, who's your offensive player of the year?
I was also gonna say Tucker Kraft, honestly, just because he's the Kraft cheese. But also I would like to say Jaden Reed. I also noticed during the Lions game he was the only one that could hold on to the ball, and that's like his thing. Like,
fair point.
He can hold on to the ball, he can stay on his feet, and I think he's shown out compared to every other wide receiver.
That was his best game by far, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
He's frozen. I don't know how he stays on his feet. Like, everybody's slipping and sliding, and he's got it.
I agree. Mine was probably Tucker Kraft. Just to throw another one in there, Zach, I agree with Elton Jenkins. Like, it's offensive line. I'm looking at Elton Jenkins, Zach Tom. I think either one. They both played very good football this year. So gives the linemen some love.
Mine was a receiver as well. I went Romeo Doubs. I think he is the best receiver on this offense. He's the only one who can beat man coverage. And as soon as we started to like get him more involved in the offense, like it took it to a completely new level. Like, he's the most reliable receiver, I think. He's been incredible. And I also don't like the slander that was thrown his way. So I think he deserves an award for that. So I went offensive player of the year for him. But if so, consensus wise, it'd probably be Tucker Kraft then, right? Because we went two.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
he's been good. Defensive player of the year, I went Xavier McKinney. So that's where I went with him.
Hard to argue.
Janet double dipped, I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
Trevor, any dispute? Okay. Yeah. Luke?
Daniel Whelan.
For defensive player of the year.
Yeah. I mean, because we didn't include a special teams player, I assume not.
Nah, special teams doesn't count. It's the Packers.
Yeah, fair. But I mean, like I talked about a couple weeks back. He's been so really much. Good, the defense, to the defense credit, they played very good this year. But he has just backed teams up. And Daniel Whelan's been awesome.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, we're doing what the Patriots have done year after year, even when they were horrendous. Last year, almost every game was a one-score game for the Patriots, and that's because they win with their special teams. Yep. Packers have ignored 1/3 of the game for so long. And now that we got a reliable kicker and a reliable punter, that's why this Packers team kind of feels like we could go on a run. Like, if you win that third of the game, it helps so much. So much. And if we can limit penalties on special teams, we really would be superheroes, I feel like.
Yeah.
That is tough to do. Okay, so that was an easy one. Surprise player. Luke, who's your surprise player for the Packers this year?
My surprise player of the year. I didn't really take rookies into consideration, right? Because they have their own award. Like, it's probably, and I don't want to say Xavier McKinney, right? Because we kind of, I guess I'll go back to Tucker Kraft, right? It kind of felt like coming in this year, it was, it was going to be a 2 tight end set with Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave. Luke Musgrave goes down. And Tucker Kraft has just been that reliable guy who, with the ball in his hand has made plays. So Tucker Kraft, not that it's surprising that he's good because we know he's good. But just in terms of this award, like it kind of a breakout more than a surprise, I would say.
Trevor?
I'm gonna go Whelan. Not that he's not a great player or wasn't a great player coming in, but just see consistent production from a special teams position that has been so bad so long. I mean, I was in the boat of J.K. Scott's gonna be incredible. He was crap. I was like, oh, Tim Mastay is the best punter of all time. He was for 2 years, and then he was shit. So just having a reliable punter completely changes the game. Completely, it just feels different when the punter goes on the team. You're not like on the field. You're not like, oh, I hope this goes 35 yards. You're like, let's put him back.
Janet, who's your surprise player?
McManus, just because he was literally a surprise for us. And he's been able to win us a few games. Like he was surprised. I kind of gave in and just said, like, you know what, we're just never gonna get a kicker. Let's just forget that, lose faith. And he just came in and he's won us a few games. So let's just give him the credit for now.
McManus is such an important signing, hopefully. Not because he won 2 games, but it's because the Packers did the exact opposite of what they always do. And they stumbled a couple times in making this decision. But I just hope they feel like they look back at this and it's like, hey, we went against tradition. We went against what we always do, our philosophy, and something very beautiful happened. We got a kicker who can make kicks. And I hope that like translates into other Packers things. We'll see. That would be awesome. My surprise player was Malik Willis.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He's been insane. He's been so good. Like like when we got him and on fantasy shows, at least in the past, it's always been like, this guy's never gotten a fair shake. But like, I thought he was fine. I didn't think he was going to come in and be super accurate, which is my thing. Like if he gets time, he can hit every single throw. And then he's led the offense. He's been a pro. He's been great. He came in and won a game when Jordan Love exited mid-game. And when he's the starter, he's still great. Plays a completely different style. So, and he just doesn't make mistakes. So I've been super surprised and very happy with Malik Willis. Sucks that's probably going to be a 1-year thing because someone's going to pay him.
Yep. Yeah. I would like to switch mine to Malik Willis because I forgot about him when I was going through.
Yeah, if we're
double surprise.
If we're going consensus, it has to be him, right? 7th. What pick did we get for him? Was it a 7th?
I think it's 7th rounder.
I mean, who gives a shit about 7 rounders anyways?
We just got one back for Preston Smith. Even.
I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring for like a game and a half of Eric Wilson too. He was awesome.
He's been great.
Whatever game that was. Houston. Whatever game he came in for Quay Walker, he was awesome.
He's been very, very solid. Very solid. Next, let's do rookie of the year. I feel like this might be a consensus one, but Trevor, what's your rookie of the year?
It's Williams. Changed the entire defense, and when he's out, you can tell.
Yeah, he's been very good. Janet, anybody different?
No.
Okay, still McKinney.
I stay throwing up the X. Just because it's what we needed, especially with Love out here just slinging the ball and letting his inner that the name that shall not be named break out, the gunslinger. He's just throwing the ball wherever. So we kind of need somebody that's gonna pick up that slack. And Xavier is just like, you know what, fuck it, I got this, and he saves us a lot. So I think without him, we would have probably lost a lot of games that we ended up winning.
Bold take. Yeah, Luke?
No, it's Evan Williams.
You look very puzzled.
I'm just trying to think, like, what other rookie even challenges Evan Williams?
None.
Yeah.
I mean, the next best rookie would be Bullard.
Probably.
Or Cooper. I mean,
Cooper maybe?
Cooper's great. He's just been a roller coaster to start. I think he's the best rookie we have. I don't think he's played the best.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Evan Williams, like I said, he's made it so McKinney can play both in the box and deep thirds or deep single, I guess. Like,
so they're working together.
I mean, weird.
Power of
If you go
friendship.
by Pro Football Focus or whatever you want to do, Packers kind of have the best safety duo in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're playing.
It's hard
great.
to argue.
Yeah, that's been a big change. Also, we never talked about it. What happened with the Darnell Savage revenge game that he was super excited about?
Who? Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
I completely forgot about it until this moment. I wish I remembered because
I've
Didn't
been
he get
throwing up the
hurt in
X
that
so
game, too?
much. I don't even know who that
Probably.
is.
Janice
Luke looks
forgot
so
you.
disgusted. That's a Fuji face.
No.
Right there.
No, I'm
That's
just.
how
I was,
you forget. That's
I
how you
was-
forget about your ex.
Yeah, right, there you go.
That's
I was trying to remember our first round pick, but it's Jordan Morgan who's battled injuries and inconsistent play. But it's expected for a lineman.
Yeah, he started this past week and he's okay. He's not a
Yep.
great player, but he's fine. We don't draft first round players. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
We draft fourth round players in the first round. That's kind of our
Mhm.
thing. So
We draft
He's-
first round players that black people on Twitter.
I mean, that is true. And he can't read. Let's do coach of the year. And I'll do my coach of the year first. And that's Anthony Campanelli. He's been the best coach on this team. He's the linebacker coach and run game coordinator. He's been incredible. He came from the Dolphins. He's like, Packers can stop the run now. And we got Adrian Cooper and we got Eric Wilson. Isaiah McDuffie's playing well. And he kind of works with the edges a little bit as well. Like, I think the linebackers are playing well, and I think we're actually defending the run for the first time in a long time. So I think he's been a stud.
Yeah, and kind of a branch off of that, I agree with you. Just as a whole, like I mean, Jeff Halfley, right? It's the defense looks completely different than how many ever years of Mike Pettin and Joe Barry, and I guess they also kind of fit into Janet's those who should not be named, probably for different reasons than the quarterback she was talking about. But they kind of all clump together in the same vein.
They did the same stuff.
Yep.
I'm gonna go completely off script. Rich Bisaccia. Anybody that can put up with Narvison and not lose their fucking marbles when your kicker can hit the broadside of the barn from the left hash. I mean, I've never seen a kicker so consistently bad from one hash. It's insane.
Yeah.
So
He's a
to
blind
keep-
spot.
To keep that all together, I mean, McManus is a pro, right? Like he's a really good player, but there still has some work to be done for him to effortlessly come in and see nothing from that. So for that, I'll give him a little bit of a shout out.
And knock on wood, don't remember a bad long snap yet. For whatever that's worth.
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yeah, on the game-winning field goal for the Texans.
Was it a bad snap?
It was.
All forgiven.
People
Play means not a bad play.
agree with you guys 100%. People were calling for Orzek's name. Like, this is the first time you guys have ever even heard of this guy. Like, let's chill out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, has anyone ever said anything about a long snapper if it wasn't
Right.
extremely negative?
Right.
Either they don't exist or you wish their family would die. There's no
Right.
in between.
Shout out
other
long
than
snappers, man.
Cheeseman. Yeah, thankless job.
Yeah.
And shout out 90s and 80s long snappers who could just their job is to snap in and get your shit rocked.
Yeah.
Like there was no protection for them at that point. It was death mission.
I have a funny story about long snapping. I long snapped
Go ahead.
in high school, and you're not supposed you can't hit like the long snappers their heads down, right? So I'd snap it and then I'd run down the field like 10 yards with my head down so nobody could hit me.
You said that like it's
Yeah.
such a scumbag move.
It was totally a scumbag move, but I was always either downing the ball or making the tackle, so it was awesome.
Did it ever work? Like,
It worked every time. No one touched me ever.
It's so stupid.
It was incredible.
I would have loved to watch that live and just be like, who's a jackass running with their
It was incredible.
They didn't have targeting at that point. You would have been like the biggest blatant targeting call of all time.
Right.
Just running with the crowd.
It
of
was a
your
guy.
helmet.
It was a guy running with his. I'm the only one running too. Everyone was blocking. I'm the only one running downfield with my head down.
Imagine catching a punt. You just see a torpedo coming
Yeah,
at you.
that
Like,
was, and then like they're like going for a fair catch, or whatever. I'd lower my head into like their nuts so it would back up, and it would bounce off their chest, and I would recover the fumble. It was an incredible strategy.
scumbag.
Yeah,
You're the
well,
worst
we
person
got
of
the
all
ball.
time.
Yeah, it was great. It was an incredible
Wait,
strategy.
You
the
wanna
guy in the
win
nuts
or
on a fair
what?
catch. That's a penalty.
No, I didn't hit him. I put my head down to fake, like, so that their natural reaction would be to like, oh, this guy's gonna hit me, and then the ball would bounce off their chest through their hands.
How many fumbles did you recover doing this shit?
It probably, I don't know, 5.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot. I expected like 2.
yeah, yeah. It was a strategy. Although I did get one 15-yard penalty for hitting the guy before he caught
Of
it.
course, yeah.
Honestly, getting 5 fumbles for 1 penalty is a hell of a
Yeah,
move.
Yeah, you're gonna miss sometimes. You're gonna accidentally touch them. But
Right.
that's a coaching point. Bye week, hire Luke Reimer as the special teams assistant. Like,
So
he can-
if I,
you did
No?
this on your own. Your coach did
Correct.
he at least give you props for it?
no, I don't think anybody even noticed anything.
you can't reward that. That's bad football karma. He just has to do it.
It
You can't
wasn't.
say something.
You know how many possessions I got back by myself?
I know. I'm just saying the coach can't be like, "Good job, Reimer." Like you can't lay your head down at night and be like, "That was a great thing you did."
I don't know. It worked, man.
I'm sure it did. Imagine being the fucking coach that you're scouting film for the next week.
Yeah,
You're like,
it had to be horrible.
hold up, circling, like, watch out for this guy
Yeah.
who's targeting everybody.
Yeah. Untouched, going at guys and faking like I'm gonna hit him in the nuts.
Jesus.
That's a football guy, man. That's a
Yeah.
football guy.
I cheated. I didn't do that though.
Do you have any of your games on film that we can watch, please?
Yeah, I
Oh,
made
God,
a
is there
highlight
huddle
tape of my
film?
long snaps.
Fuck yeah, we need that for
I have,
sure.
to see,
YouTube.
I have to see if I can find it.
Please, that sounds incredible.
Okay,
Yeah.
so back to
Okay,
Janet.
well-
What's your pick?
LaFleur
Maybe
for his
on.
baby boy tantrum a while back when that ref didn't see him.
Oh, forgot what we were talking about. That was an embarrassing tantrum.
I
Coach
loved
Spear.
it. I loved it. And I was fighting everyone. I was like, had it been another coach, he would have had passion. But y'all were so upset because he's a pretty boy jumping up and down. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I just loved
Relax.
it. My dad, it's because my dad's like that on like the sidelines when I was younger. He would be yelling his ass off. And I loved it. It would get me fired up.
So
the-
is every fucking high
for the
school
sick-
coach that faced Luke Reimer at every
First of
punt.
all, it was 6th grade soccer, okay? And it was the girls' team.
I cannot
my
get over
dad-
the visual of
And my
Luke
dad would
going
be
down.
so just stomping, not even running, just like pom pom pom.
I like to think that I was part of the opposing team's game plan.
Yeah.
You had to at some
Yeah.
point after like the 3rd or 4th, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta see if I can find that. I don't know if I have that highlight tape anywhere. I gotta see if I can find it.
You have.
They
Whatever. It's on your freaking videos on your phone. You watch it
No,
all the
oh,
time.
shit.
it's on your
I gotta find it.
MySpace wall for sure.
Yeah, I gotta find it.
He made a GIF out of it.
For sure. Yeah, it's on Jiffy somewhere. Find it.
It was legitimately.
What if afterwards he
Should've-
just pretend he walked that way so nobody would tell him nothing?
Did you guys do like stars on your helmet or anything? For,
No.
like, Jason made? Oh, okay. You
would've
should have had like a target, like do a target.
That
for
would've
it
been
of the
great.
crowd.
Can you imagine Luke picks his head up and he's got like the single bar too?
Oh,
That would be
yeah, for sure.
terrifying.
Old school chin strap, the one strap and the one bar.
I
Or
will
if you
say
got the
what-
Ray Lewis. Ooh.
I will say when I was doing it, it never happened. But I was always scared. Like once I got to like that 7-yard mark, I was just gonna get absolutely blindsided from the right. But it never happened.
Should've.
Yeah.
That's a penalty. Your head's down still.
Yeah. Right.
So wait, how'd you know when to pick your head up? How'd
I
you
picked
know
up after
first?
10 yards usually. I don't know.
Okay.
About 10 steps. You know.
So you looked at the white marks and then went, all right, 10
No,
yards,
I just get, you just kind of feel it. You have a
Mhm.
feel for it.
When you do it every fucking long snap, you get the rhythm down.
I've been doing that since I was like started long snapping like 5 years old playing Pop Warner football. That's the staple of my athletic career.
God. I hate that. Like, it's
It's winning
oh my
football.
goodness. It is winning football. That's a loophole. I love it. It's good stuff. Okay, last award, I guess. Play of the year. We don't have any torpedoes running down on punt team, but Luke, what's your
Hmm.
play of the year?
I will say it was nice to see game-winning field goals being made, one or two. But I guess in terms of just like overall sheer like incredible cool play that should never happen, it's probably Jaden Reed in triple coverage.
That's true. That
So
is true. That was a
I'll give it to
great
that.
play. Trevor,
Not that it was great or anything; it's just incredible.
for sure. Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna completely just disregard the name. I'm gonna say two plays together because they're by the same player in the same game. Eric Wilson, I think Packers are up 10 in the fourth against Indianapolis. Stonewall is a great play by getting a great open field tackle. They missed a field goal because of that, and then the next drive down gets an interception on a ball that Anthony Richardson shouldn't be throwing, but it's still a heck of a catch from the defense. I think you could very well argue in a game they won by 6. He doesn't make either of those plays or one of them. They don't win that game, and if they don't win that game, that entire season after starting 0-2 goes way different.
That is true. Janet, which Xavier McKinney interceptions your play of the year?
Actually,
All of
I was
them.
going to say, I was gonna say, yeah, I was actually gonna say, some of these touchdowns that Tucker Kraft has made have been pretty remarkable considering, like I said, Jordan Love has been slinging the ball all over the place. So seeing this giant man that is Tucker Kraft, the cheese, have to throw himself to grab the ball has just been, they've been great catches. So I would say any of his touchdowns have been pretty good. But I would also agree that any interception gets me fired up. I'd be like, we're losing. This is over. Then, yeah, we're back in the game. We're going to win it.
I got a question about that celebration. Luke, when you got the fumbles, did you do like
I should have.
house celebration?
No, I
or
should have.
Okay.
That would have been great.
God. Got a special guest on there. Looks like.
Yeah, trying to.
I almost did the long Tucker Kraft touchdown as well. The one I chose was the 38-yard touchdown run by Josh Jacobs against the Jaguars. So Packers were down.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
that was like that sick juke. He got to the outside touchdown run. So I think it stopped the bleeding there, gave the Packers momentum so they didn't lose to the Jaguars, which is pretty important. And I think it gave Packer fans like an exhale a little bit, like a reason to be like, okay, Josh Jacobs is our running back. We don't need to miss Aaron Jones so much. Like, I think that's big for the fan perception eyes.
Yeah.
And just the offense as a whole, like winning that game's big. Offensive line, just having a running back who can bust a run, that's huge. So that was my play.
I have one more underrated one that like nobody talked about when it happened, and it's still like not being talked about. Like the Packers don't have many great wins this season, right? They beat the teams that they need to beat, and they lost to the divisional and the NFC playoff teams against the Houston Texans. They went for 2, and Evan Williams had a one-on-one tackle with Joe Mixon in open space, made the tackle,
Huge.
and Packers ended up winning by 2 points. That wasn't talked about at all. And if he doesn't make that tackle, who knows what happens? But it was in the moment, it was an incredible one-on-one tackle on one of the best running backs in the league.
That's true. That's true. Joe Mixon's been undeniable this season. Listen, Evan Williams has been so good. Like
Yeah.
I think the hype on him was insane at one point, and then it completely went away. And now it's like, yeah, he's really good. But did you see this person make a play? Like he's been one of the best safeties in the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he is one of the best safeties in the league. I think he's playing like it though. He's been incredible.
Yep.
So many good plays. Why pick one? All of them are good. That's one we don't need a consensus for. Anything else we want to talk about before we get into a possible new venture?
I can go quick here. I was on a TikTok rabbit hole. Have you guys seen this city in China? Chongqing, I think it's called. It's like
Better be right.
Sadly,
You
I
better
have.
be right.
Sadly,
You
I
gotta be
have.
right.
I am
Chongqing.
CHONG
Yep.
GQING. Trevor, you know what I'm talking about?
You know,
Yep,
the
cheating
city?
is
Sadly,
like
I
a bad
do.
word in Spanish.
So, anyways, the city. It's like imagine an apartment complex, but if it was outside. Like it has like 5 different floors. Like the outside, you think you're on the ground floor, but you look down like over a railing, and there's another ground floor under there. Does anyone with me on this?
Trevor
I
has seen it, I
am
guess.
because I've
I
watched the
haven't.
video, but it is very confusing.
Okay, so is it an actual apartment type of thing? What is it?
It's a 25 million or 25 million people live in this. It's like built on a mountain. So there's like it's like sections of the city that are like elevated compared to not elevated. Like you're outside and you never know where you are. You're outside, you're like, oh, I'm on the ground floor, like there's nothing below me. But then you look over here and then there's like railings and shit, and you look under it, and there's like cars and traffic going on down there, and you look up and it's going on up there too.
So what's the
Sounds
point of bringing
terrifying.
up the city in China?
I went down a Twitter rabbit hole or a TikTok rabbit hole.
Oh, so you just
I
think
hate-
it's cool? Okay.
Yeah.
It sounds insane. I don't like it.
It sounds
don't
like
think.
Star Wars.
Someone like there's a
You said that very weird.
it is Janet. It is kind of like Star Wars.
You've never seen Star Wars when they're like jumping cars and stuff in the
Yeah,
city?
she's right.
You've never seen Star Wars, like the city
I'm-
of.
Janet, we're not
See-
talking about that. You said Star
Yeah.
Wars. That's
Yeah, you
what-
said Star Wars very weird. That's what I laughed at. I've also only seen one Star Wars.
Boo. Okay,
Didn't
well,
like it.
there's this part where like Anakin, is like chasing people in the city, and he's like jumping on the cars. You can see cars underneath them, cars over him.
It's
and, like, all the-
exactly that.
It weirds me out thinking
And
about
Obi-Wan.
it. Maybe I just gotta see it.
I think it's Obi-Wan. Yeah, it's Obi-Wan and Anakin that are chasing after
Yeah.
somebody.
It's in the second one.
Yeah.
They're
What
cha-
one's
they're
that?
cha-
What's that called?
They're chasing Attack of the Clones. They're chasing after
Yes.
Jango
That's the one I
Fett.
saw.
Yes.
Yeah.
What a bad movie.
What?
Well, you don't know the story.
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
No
Yeah,
idea.
hold up.
No
Hold up.
idea
Why'd
what
you watch
happened.
the second one first? What's wrong with
Yeah.
you?
I went to a birthday party. This kid, the biggest nerd of all time, didn't want to go to his party, but his house has a movie theater in it. I'm like, oh my God, I got to check out this movie theater. He's like, what should we watch? And then we had to choose between all the Star Wars movies. Like there wasn't another choice.
Okay, don't
So then
come
we
to my
turned on
birthday
that one.
party.
Should have watched the third one.
Yeah.
I kind of gave up. I think I was in the same room as one of the newer ones while that was playing, but I don't know.
Is it the newer
sure.
one? They're older ones because technically the older ones are the newer ones.
I hate that. That's so stupid. It was one of the newer ones, more
That's-
recently released ones. How about that?
And anyways, I will send you guys a TikTok that I watch. It's incredible.
Please do.
Yeah.
I don't think I like it, but I'm interested.
Yo, don't
Okay.
even come to my house.
New venture, baby.
All I have to watch is Star Wars and Frasier.
That's a great segue into what we're talking about right now.
Star
that
Wars
is-
and Frasier. All right.
We got a new thing. This is Lombardi Sweep, and we are now launching Lombardi Help Me Out Sweeper Off Her Feet. Is that what we went with?
Yes.
Okay.
Why were you like the white boy in that Vine when he does the?
Pretty good.
So,
Janet is newly single. Look, let's talk
Oh,
about
that's
this.
I was like, why are you putting yourself?
Yeah.
this big?
Yeah, let me talk about
I
you.
thought you were going to like threaten them. Listen to me.
Okay, so in partnership with the Flurry Sports Podcast, Lombardi Sweep is now launching Lombardi Sweeper Off Her Feet. It's a new dating craze. It's a new dating show where you could win a trip to the Green Bay Packer game with Janet Wilson here.
But you have
And-
to meet us there because we're not paying for shit.
No, you have to give your own ticket. We're not going to pay for your fares. That is very true. That's a very important point to bring up
Yeah.
front.
Yep.
But you could be one of two finalists to have a date at
meet me
Lambeau
there.
Field.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also now realizing we got to make sure the tickets are next to each other. We'll have to coordinate that as well.
We'll
But-
figure that out. That's a future problem.
We're gonna post this as an individual video. If you are interested in potentially wanting to win a date with Janet Wilson here, respond to this tweet or email lombardisweepshow@gmail.com. And we will be going through candidates. We will email you questions, and then there will be a rigorous interview process. Okay, no creeps, no weirdos. Janet, anything else you'd like to put out there in terms of this person should not apply, or maybe
No
this
broke
person should
boys.
apply?
No,
No
yeah.
broke boys.
No broke boy. Well, I would assume no broke because they're not gonna be able to buy a ticket.
Very true.
Because we ain't paying
Very
for
true.
shit.
'Cause we
You'll
are
have
not-
You will have to prove proof of purchase before the date.
Well, how are we gonna
Great.
get 2 tickets together then?
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Must love dogs. Pumbaa is my fur child, and he's been on the show. You know who he is. Must love
Mhm.
dogs. Star Wars, Frasier, the Packers.
Yep.
True.
It's
No Bears
for-
fans.
No,
It's four
yeah.
pretty good
And-
qualifiers.
And must be over the age of 18. Let's get
Please.
that disclaimer out there.
Please.
Please.
Oh yeah,
Please.
I am 33. So I know.
No,
this is-
not please. Definitely.
Yeah, because
Yeah. So what's your lowest?
Recommended
age
to be
range?
over
That's what we should say.
17. Recommended.
18,
You gotta-
please.
We'll keep an open mind, but
But we
preferably
don't-
18 plus.
We don't want this show to get sued by their parents.
Otherwise,
Or
Janet's doing the
take off
show
for a
from a
different
cell.
reason.
Or
That is
TikTok.
true. Never know. Okay, fine. 18 plus. Okay.
Yeah. 18 plus.
Honestly, it should be 21 plus because they're going to be drinking at the game with Janet. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
That
At
is true.
least I don't know, 21. That's like
21?
a very big age gap. I'm not here to be a sugar mama.
Yeah.
that's
true.
why I said 21 instead of 18. You're welcome.
Yes.
Do you have any petty requests in terms of must be this height, must be this thing?
Petty.
She goes,
Petty
must be more
shallow.
muscular than all the
Taller
guys in
than-
this podcast.
Taller than me. I'm 4'11", so I would
Well,
hope
that's
you're
hard.
taller than me.
No short kings.
Peter
no.
Dinklage, is your heart out?
No short kings. I don't know any other petty.
You like cheese?
Oh yeah, you gotta like cheese. Cause
Beer.
cheese, beer. I'm very open. Like if you're a chill person, like just please don't start talking about politics because I'm done with that shit.
Very high bar here.
Yeah,
Don't talk
no
about
creeps.
politics. Don't bring
No
up your
creeps.
ex on the
Yeah.
date. That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, let's just go and watch the game and have fun.
Yeah.
That's
And get
Let's
after
have
it.
fun.
Also, you must survive a Packer game in 5-degree weather because this is going to be a Christmas game, more than likely.
Yes, cold one.
That's
Gonna be a
actually
cold
the
one.
ultimate test. Can
That's
you
true.
sit at the game with me and not complain?
Otherwise,
And what
the finale is going to be wild where she denies both of them, which is on the table.
And what kind of guy are you, right? Are you buying a seat back for both of them, or are you just braving it? You know, what kind of person
Yeah.
you got here?
Like, I'm not supposed to be the stronger one.
Right?
Even though she works
true.
out like every day of the week and twice
And
on
I-
Sundays.
And I've been trained in that weather. But other than that, I'm not really too petty on it. Just as long as they like my dog. Because that I've been petty. Somebody told me they didn't like my dog, and I just ghosted them.
Well, that's a weird thing to say. Why would you do that?
He said he was ugly. He's not even ugly. He's so cute.
Yeah, what's your deal? You don't. Pumbaa's gonna be one of the interviewees.
Yeah.
He'll be with Trevor and Luke, sorting them out. So
Step
keep that
brother
in mind.
style, ladies
So
and gentlemen.
we should have them on this show, and then you bring your questions.
Mm,
You guys
That's a very
bring
good
your
idea.
questions from how long that you've known me.
that's a very good idea.
Because
A lot of
y'all-
dental questions that
Yes.
we will research.
how
that
much do you
asked.
care about your teeth?
That's a big one. That's a big one. Okay, but yes, respond to this. Let us know. It's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna be a big deal. Anything else before we get out of here?
Where did Luke go?
Luke and I are ready
Oh.
to pick the best one,
Said something like the
and,
Undertaker.
and we're excited for however good or bad this turns out.
Yeah, this is.
It's going to be a process. Trust the process. You know,
Mhm.
think of this as one of our first round draft picks. You know, it's a 3-4 year project maybe.
Trevor, I want you to make them nervous though. With every question, you give them Fuchi face. Doesn't matter if you like the answer or not. Just
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say a guy 5'9", 160, soaking wet doesn't do that. But that's why I have Luke just running at him, helmet down, ass. Don't
Well,
answer
we're gonna-
it,
I,
you're popped.
We're gonna set Trevor up with the same camera angle Luke had a couple of weeks ago, where he was skinny like that, and he's just gonna Fuchi face and intimidate him.
I So this is probably whatever. I to go along with my shenanigans in athletics, I have two other things that I did that were kind of scumbaggish.
Okay.
In Little League baseball, I would put my toes on the plate and hog the plate so people couldn't throw strikes against me. So I'd either get hit or walked every time. Which I still think I had the highest on base percentage in Kelly Dane Little League history. And then in basketball, I was a notorious flopper.
Of course you were.
Yeah.
I grew up with somebody like that. He flopped better than anybody else, and that was his
Yeah.
only skill.
Yep.
You
A lot
must
of
have
charges.
been-
I took a lot of charges.
when people saw you on their team, they must have been like, I'm so stoked. But when people lined up against you, they're probably like, fuck.
Yeah, I'm like Patrick Beverly.
No, you're like Draymond Green, except less punches.
Yeah.
Arguably more dangerous.
Just the thought of the punch. That's all I wanted to give, the illusion.
Luke was just a threat out there.
Yep.
Just threatened everybody.
How old are you when you were doing this, by the way?
Which one?
High school, right?
Either.
Baseball was Little League, so whatever that is. And
That's a
then
long
basketball, my whole entire basketball career from like 3 years old to 18 years old.
Hey, he was watching Bo Ryan basketball.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. Okay, we will be back next week with hopefully major updates on the show, but also previewing the Bears matchup. We got some blood ball next week against the Bears, so
Bears week.
stay tuned for that. See you then.